What's going on, everyone? Axel here. Today I'm on Lamania to look at some of the new Update 30 stuff. If you aren't aware, with Update 30 we're getting two new races. They're both gnomes, but one is an iconic deep gnome and one is a regular gnome. So the first one, regular heroic race, start at level 1. The other one, probably very similar to the regular gnomes, but it's iconic. It's called Deep Gnome. You get to start at level 15. So what I'm going to do in this video is take a look at both of those races. I'm going to first of all go through the character creation and create one just so you can see what it looks like. And then for both of those races, I'll go in and actually have a look at the enhancement tree. I haven't looked at any of the enhancements yet for these races, so this will be my first impression. Also visually, I haven't looked at them since about a month ago when they released a preview picture. So here's my first impressions. Let's have a look. So let's go ahead and open up the regular gnome first. And I don't really care what class I am. Okay, so here's the gnomes. And this is what they look like. This is the regular gnome, not the deep gnome. I just happened to get a darker colored gnome by chance. But I'll swap through the races here so you can see just somewhat what the appearances look like, some of the randomized appearances. And as you can see, one of the things they obviously did to differentiate the appearance of the gnome from halfling or human is the eyes, right? The eyes are a lot bigger. They also try to give them some gnomish features in the noses and ears, but I think for me the thing that really stands out visually is the eyes. So you'll definitely have the flexibility here to create a very gnomish looking gnome. Some of the earlier some of the unfinished art, it looked a little too human or halfling for me, but they definitely fixed that, and the eyes really stand out. So let's go ahead and get in game and gnome, I don't know. And let's get in game and look at the enhancement tree. If you're wondering, this is on Lamania. It's not on the regular server yet, so this is just a preview. But just like the live server, I'm starting on on the veteran ship. So one thing I do know about gnomes is they will start with a -2 to strength and I think a +2 to intelligence. I do not believe they get a free feat or anything like that like human does. But let's have a look at their enhancement tree, and since it's actually new and up to date, it should be pretty good. So let's see, the first core is +1 UMD, +1% dodge. Not bad. +1 intelligence. So their cores are going to be, it looks like, dodge and UMD. Okay. It's cool. I know they are a wizard. The iconic is a wizard. Illusion based, so very keeps in line with pen and paper D&D. I know I'm not a huge pen and paper guy myself, but I know from what I've heard and from what people I do know that are big into pen and paper, I know enough to know that Gnome Illusionist is a big thing in pen and paper. So let's have a look. They actually have a dragon mark, it looks like, which, let's see, Mark of Flame is going to be their dragon mark, their first dragon mark. If you aren't aware, that's a divine spell. It works sort of like if you're familiar with like Symbol of Death, it's similar to that except it's damage based. So you cast that spell and it's like an AoE. Every time the enemies run under it, it causes damage. It's not the strongest of spells, so I don't know if this will be the most useful dragon mark. Let's see what they get for the top one. Mark of Stunning. That one's not bad if you can get your DC high enough. So okay, some illusion spells for the dragon marks. I don't know if that'll be worth burning a feat. Probably not. But I guess it'll be an option. They get Wand and Scroll Mastery, the same as your Divine Casters, which will increase the effectiveness of your scrolls and wands. Keen Insight, this is a +2 will save. We've got an option for +1 listen, search, and spot, and +1 hide and move silently. Okay. Not really the best one. They've got a gnomish weapon training line. I don't know if this will be that great, because I can see that the higher tiers of this cost +2 action points, and even though each tier will add some damage, it's probably not going to be worth your action points. Sort of the same problem the half orc tree and the dwarf tree have currently. The weapon damage enhancements, while it's always nice to get extra damage on your weapon, they're really expensive and spread out over lots of enhancements instead of just being in one. So probably not worth the action points. Let's see, they've got against the giants. This adds +2 saving throws against giants. You know, that'll be handy in giant hold, but probably not worth taking just for that content. They've got an SLA color spray. That might be alright. You've got permanent blur, very handy. But then again, permanent blur is available in so many items, I'm not sure if it'll be worth just fitting this many points in the tree. You have to spend, it looks like, at least 5, so this will be 6 points. 6 APs for permanent blur. That will probably be useful like low levels, but once you get up to epic levels and high heroic levels, probably want to drop this, because you'll be able to get it from items. And actually, if you're a wizard, like I'm sure many gnomes will be, since gnomes traditionally are wizards, they get a +2 to intelligence, so they're going to synchronize very well with wizards. You're going to have the blur spell anyway, so you probably won't need to have permanent blur. It will be a convenience, but you may not want to spend your action points on that. This is an excellent enhancement right here, plus 3D illusion DCs, and this alone, if you're very illusion based, which I'm sure, again, traditionally gnomes are, so a lot of you will probably want to build illusion gnomes, you may want to invest points into the racial tree just for this, because when it comes to DC casting, DCs are everything. Like, getting extra DCs is more important really than any other bonus in your build. Illusion hasn't been the strongest in terms of spell selection right now. I'm not sure if they're adding new illusion spells with this update to make specializing in illusion more appealing, so we'll have to see. We've got nimble reaction. Okay, looks like we've got up to +3 on your maximum dexterity bonus and maximum dodge bonus. I'm not sure if that'll be that helpful, since gnomes are probably going to be wizards that probably aren't wearing heavy armor, so you shouldn't have a cap to your dodge bonus anyways, or a cap higher than the standard cap. Your cap won't be limited by armor, I mean. So I'm not sure that enhancement will be all that useful. Now, I'm excited. Let's see what this capstone is. Hopefully it's really good. Looks like we've got a multi-selector. You can get the favorite enemy null feat or the favorite enemy kobold feat. I don't know if this is any different than the ranger feat. I don't play rangers that often. I know the favorite enemy ranger enhancements will give you extra bonuses to damage against certain enemies, but I'm not sure how it works here with the gnomes. I'm not sure if these are the same as the ranger feats or not. So I don't know if that'll be that useful. Overall, the tree has a couple nice things in it, but I think I'm actually surprised they didn't power creep this more. It looks like it's in line with the other races in terms of power. In today's game, most builds aren't using the racial trees because the class enhancements are so much better. So unless you're an illusion-based gnome and you want to go for these +3 DCs, I don't see anyone spending tons of points into this racial tree. But hey, maybe if you're a pure archmage or something, you might have points to spread around. So who knows, maybe. So that is the regular gnome. Let's now log out and create a deep gnome, and we'll have a look at that tree. Oops. Okay, so here's what the deep gnome look like. And as you can see, their eyes are quite different. They've got a very spooky, kind of evil-y looking plain white appearance to them. Let's see if that stays consistent. It looks like it does stay consistent. So your eyes probably have to be plain white, like that. Kind of makes you look soulless. So neat. They look a little more evil. Here's some of the different appearances. Even got a nice balding appearance. So we will go ahead and get into the game and just type something in. Let's have a look at these enhancements. Alright, so let's see if there's any differences. And again, I don't know if I said this before, but this is just Lamania, so this stuff could change. And as you can see on the bottom here, they haven't even put in some of the multi-selector pictures yet here in these cores. So let's see what we have here. It looks mostly the same, except I think in the original Gnome tree you can only select intelligence, and this is a multi-selector for intelligence or wisdom here in the cores. But it looks like the rest of it is mostly the same. You get bonuses to dodge and to MRR. The first enhancement, illusionary escape. When you tumble, you will phase out from reality briefly, passing through enemies as you do so. So that's kind of cool. It might help if you're stuck in a crowd of enemies. You can tumble and get out of them. So that's really cool. These iconic gnomes won't have the problem of getting surrounded. That's actually very helpful. And there are clickies, for example, like shadow phase clickies on your dragon scale armor, your shadow dragon armor, that can do this, but it's nice to have that ability inherently. It does require that you roll, though, that you tumble, so you'll have to make sure that your character has enough points invested in tumble to be able to do that, to take advantage of this enhancement. They've also got one to scroll mastery, like the regular gnome. I think this was a little different. They get bonuses to saves. I think the heroic gnome only had bonuses to like reflex saves against giants, possibly. This was the same, I believe. They also have this gnomish weapon training line, which I'm actually I'm surprised they didn't put a little more power into that. It's probably too expensive for anyone to take. They've got a different SLA, Conjure Stone, which looks like Boulder Toss. Yeah, it looks like pretty much the same thing as Boulder Toss, except it's based on an intelligence modifier. I believe Boulder Toss is based on a strength modifier for your save. So that's kind of cool. I'm not sure how the damage compares to Boulder Toss. I'm assuming since this is an enhancement and not a Epic Destiny, is lower, but someone will have to check me on that. Plus AC and PRR, okay. Color spray, we also had that same SLA in the regular Gnome tree. Permanent blur, this was also in the regular Gnome tree. Okay, well, this was not in the regular Gnome tree. This is bonuses to spellcraft. Pretty nice. Basically plus 20 spell power if you are a caster, which you probably are if you're a gnome. Nimble reactions, this is the same as a heroic. We've got a stone skin SLA. Pretty nice. We also have the illusion DCs. Okay, let's see if the top two are a little different. We've got P Killer. Okay, that's decent SLA. And they also have favorite enemy. So it's a little different. It looks like the, let me see. That's funny. Their favorite enemy is Goblin kind when goblins aren't even in DDO. I'm a little confused, but I'm assuming that also refers to kobolds and things. Oh no, this one refers to kobolds. I'm not sure what this one refers to. I mean, there are like hobgoblins in the game. I wish it explained exactly which goblins it refers it affects. Okay, so it looks like the Deep Gnome tree looks a little better to me. It's got spellcraft bonuses. It has the same DC bonuses. What else did it have? It had this illusionary escape, which is probably really helpful. I don't think that was in the regular heroic tree. So there you go, guys. That is Gnome. It should be coming out. Usually stuff comes out on the live servers a few weeks after it comes onto the Lamania servers. We don't get any new quests and raids from what I've heard, but we are getting a 10th anniversary event that was explained to us earlier in the producer's letter, which I talked about a little bit in my producer's letter review video, which I'll link below if you want to check that out. But so there you go, guys. There is Gnome. Hopefully you enjoyed this preview. Hopefully you got to check out the race. And one of the reasons I do this is because I know you guys, a lot of you guys probably don't have Lamania installed on your computer, or you just don't want to take the time, which is totally cool, to actually log into Lamania and check this stuff out yourself. So that I wanted to make it a little easier for you guys. So hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, guys, I will see you later.